Assalamu alaikum. As Muslims, we believe that the Qur'an is the final and perfect word of Allah, and it contains many miracles that confirm its divine origin. One of the most awe-inspiring scientific miracles is found in Surah Al-Mu'minun, verses 12 to 14, where Allah describes the stages of human embryonic development. Allah says that He created man from a drop of fluid, then made it into a clinging clot, then a lump of flesh, and finally covered the bones with flesh, forming a fully developed human being. This description, revealed over 1,400 years ago, aligns perfectly with what modern science has discovered about embryology, despite the fact that such knowledge wasn't available at the time. Dr. Keith L. Moore, a prominent professor of anatomy and one of the world's leading scientists in the fields of embryology and human development, conducted extensive research into the Qur'an's references to embryology. He confirmed that the Qur'anic description of human development corresponds to modern scientific findings. Dr. Moore was so impressed by the accuracy of the Qur'anic verses that he remarked, "It is clear to me that these statements must have come to Muhammad from God, because almost all of this knowledge was not discovered until many centuries later." He even included references to Qur'anic embryology in later editions of his textbook. The precise and detailed stages mentioned in the Qur'an, starting from the fertilization of the egg, the clinging of the embryo to the womb, the formation of bones, and the wrapping of muscles, highlight the Qur'an's miraculous nature. This not only confirms that the Qur'an is from Allah but also deepens our faith in His infinite knowledge and power as the creator of all life. For us as Muslims, it is a clear sign of the truth of Islam and a reminder to reflect on the wonders of Allah's creation, as well as our purpose in this life. Let's now listen to what Keith Moore has to say about the revelations found in the Qur'an 1400 years ago and what science has only recently been able to find out through detailed investigations.
In the 1940s, Professor Streeter of the Carnegie Institute of Embryology in Washington, D.C., proposed a system for classifying the stages of human development. His system arranged human embryos in 23 numbered stages based on their differences in appearance. The Carnegie system of classification was used around the world until the 1970s, when a more refined system was proposed by Dr. Ronan O'Reilly of the Carnegie Institute of Embryology, now in San Diego, California. Intensive studies of the Qur'an and Hadith in the last 4 years have revealed a system for classifying human embryos that is amazing, since it was recorded in the 7th century A.D. Although Aristotle, the founder of the science of embryology, realized that chick embryos developed in stages from his studies of hen's eggs in the 4th century B.C., he did not give any details about these stages. As far as it is known from the history of embryology, little was known about the staging and classification of human embryos until the 20th century. For this reason, the descriptions of the human embryo in the Qur'an cannot be based on scientific knowledge in the 7th century. The only reasonable conclusion is that these descriptions were revealed to Muhammad from God. He could not have known such details because he was an illiterate man with absolutely no scientific training. The first stage is adapk, and you'll have to apologize for my pronunciation. This is from Surah Tariq 6. He is created from a drop emitted. This Arabic term refers to the forceful emission of fluids which occurs during ejaculation in the male and ovulation in the female. The male secretions, called semen, contain the spermatozoa, and the female secretions, called follicular fluid, contain the ovum. This is the stage of fertilization and the nutfa, and this is what we call the zygote, referred to in the Qur'an as the nutfa, and the nutfa undergoes division, which we call cleavage, as it passes down the uterine tube. And so these are the stages of the nutfa here as it undergoes cell division. This term is used several times in the Qur'an when referring to the beginning of development. After examining all these references, it is concluded that nutfa refers to the small drop of fluid containing the sperm and the ovum. The term nutfa is also used to refer to the dividing zygote as it undergoes cleavage, cell division, and passes along the uterine tube to enter the uterus. This surah says, "Then he made his progeny from a quintessence of the nature of fluid despised." Sulala is an Arabic term, refers to the gentle extraction of the germ or sex cells from the millions that are produced. There are 300 to 500 million sperms in the ejaculate of a healthy young male. Only one of these is extracted from the semen to fertilize the ovum. This shows a photograph of the millions of sperm when they are ejaculated, and only one of the several million sperms is drawn out, which is what is suggested by the word sulala. The same in the case of the ovary. Only one ovum reaches maturity and is expelled from the ovary, and it is extracted from the many thousands that are available in the ovary. Again, the idea of extraction, or sulala. The next stage is amshaj. Amshaj, Surah ad-Der 2, verily we created man from a mixture of a germinal drop. Amshaj, then, as an Arabic term, is used in the Qur'an to describe the mixing of the sperms and the ovum. During fertilization, the ovum rotates within the fluid containing the sperms until one of them is successful in penetrating its covering layers, which we call the corona radiata.
Truly, the more we learn about the natural world, the more we find reasons to praise and worship Allah, the best of creators. If you found this reflection meaningful, don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more content that explores the wonders of the Qur'an.